Redline Logbook here, and I know if you read the title of this video, you're like, what? No. Characters that are meta are just cringe as all hell. That's awful. That's not what this is. No. I will tell you, the gods of Danmachi are very meta. Just not in the way you're thinking. To explain this, you have to understand what the gods are. The gods are a higher being that exists all up in heaven. And in heaven, they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. And this is actually quite boring to them because they live perfect lives however they see fit. So at a certain point, 1,000 years ago, gods started descending down to earth. And they also had to give up their divine abilities. The only thing that they can do is give blessings to mortals. Now, the blessings are extremely important because the blessings are based on a point system based on each category depending on what they are currently leveling up. They are strength, endurance, dexterity, agility, magic. And then of course there's also the levels, as in level 1 and level 2, level 3, etc. The whole reason why it's set up like this way is because the gods came down to earth and are treating it like a video game. You see, the gods see the world as a giant RPG game, basically, where all the people that are living in it are basically just playable characters that they get to enjoy watching. This is why, on many occasions, the moral races will say that they don't understand the gods. The reason why they don't understand the gods is because the gods, a lot of them just don't see human life, or mortal life in general, as of any importance. Everything and everyone exists for their entertainment, for their fun. This doesn't mean that all gods are complete sociopaths who don't care about their children. There are gods that do, but a large number of them are just in it for the entertainment. They came down to this world to play a game, and that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna play this game. And I'm going to give you several examples, starting with the most overlooked one, which is the naming of children. Whenever an individual succeeds in leveling up to level 2, they now qualify to be given a second name by the gods. In many cases, these names are purposely created by the gods to basically be cringe. To the mortals, they think they're just wise names given to them by the gods. But in reality, to the gods and to us as people who, in the real world, we know that these names are things that middle schoolers come up with to sound cool. For example, Makoto's second name that the gods gave her is Absolute Shadow. The reason why they went that way, because that would be what a middle schooler in our world would call a ninja, basically. Another example, some guy from the set family got the name Holy Dragon Knight of the Dawn. Yeah, so as you can see, the gods go out of their way to basically give their children the most messed up names to mess with the other gods. Because once again, the gods understand that these are just ridiculous things that children wouldn't come up with. Of course, this is on the lighter end of them messing around, treating the world like a video game, or an RPG really. Unfortunately, it can get a lot darker. There is a character named Chloe. She's part of the hosts of fertility. Now, before she was a waitress there, she was an assassin born in a familia of assassins. This entire familia was born and raised to kill. These people have no sense of morality, no sense of humanity, no sense of fear of their own deaths. They do not care. They are raised at the very beginning of their lives to be assassins. So they're fed poison at a young age to grow tolerance to it. They're consistently tortured. They go through brutal training. They're taught and sent out on their first missions to kill when they can barely even speak. Familia's sole purpose is to brainwash people at birth into giving up all their sense of humanity, even the value of their own lives, for the sake of the mission, for the sake of killing. And when Chloe was still a child, she asked the god who created this familia, this goddess, why would you create a familia like this? And the goddess's response was, it's just roleplay. Once again, the whole thing is nothing more than an RPG game to this god. She does not care about the lives of any of her family members, any of the people that they kill, nothing. It means nothing to her. All that matters is being entertained, and the game that she wanted to be entertained with was being an assassin. This goddess didn't do it for the money. She didn't do it because she thinks certain people should die. She didn't do it because she's an inherently evil person. No, to her, this is a game. And the character she wanted to play was the head of an assassin guild. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's just pure, unadulterated roleplay. Another thing that's quite meta for the gods, that can either be quite wicked or quite endearing, depending on the reasoning or the logic behind it, is the fact they treat people's souls as the person, and not their physical flesh forms down below. What I mean by this is that mortals, what happens is they die, their soul goes up to heaven, then the gods go through the process of wiping everything that they were as their soul. They send their soul back down to earth and is reincarnated. It's a common process that goes on for eternity. Because of this, the gods see the soul as the being, and no matter what life it takes on, it's the same soul, so therefore it's the same life. At least that's how the gods see it. The mortals, of course, do not. Everyone's unique. In other words, it's like if you're playing a game of D&D, and your character ends up dying in the campaign, And so, continue the campaign, you just create a brand new character. In the eyes of the gods, this is still the same person playing the game, it's just a different character. As such, some gods don't actually see the death of a mortal as being a big deal. In fact, their deaths and then rebirths are actually just a form of entertainment at that point, because the soul's coming back anyway, so who cares if they die? Whatever. That's the more sadistic and cruel way of seeing things. The kinder, more showing love to their children, that way is seen more through, I would say, Zeus and Hestia. See, Zeus is the adopted grandfather of Bel. Zeus loved the mortal races. He would sit in heaven and he would watch down below everything that went on. As such, he knows every story that happened, every great deed, every little fairy tale that the mortals think about, dream about, talk about, write down in their stories. He knows all of them exactly as they happened. And so he created picture books for Bel, telling the stories of all these heroes exactly how they went. His favorite story is the story of Argonaut. Bel comments when he's a child reading the stories that he doesn't like this story. It ends with the hero having to be saved by the princess, and he doesn't like that. Bel's really disappointed by this story of a hero who's kind of a clown. And Zeus' response is, I love that child. He's my favorite hero, and I look forward to the things he will do in the future. Bel responds, the story's over. There's nothing else to it. It's already over. And Zeus' response is, no, there's more that boy is going to do. I'm sure of it. The reason why Zeus knows this, and the reason why Zeus is saying this, is because Argonaut is Bel's previous life. And this is what I mean by there can be love behind it. Zeus 100%, as soon as he saw Bel, knew it was Argonaut's soul that was inside of him. He knew that this was a hero that he rooted for from the very beginning, thousands of years ago, when he decided to finally stand up against the monster. And that very soul is sitting right in front of him as Bel, this child who's a part of his familia, someone that he will raise and take care of and teach to be a hero, a true hero. Not one guided by the gods, but guided by his own free will. Because he knows if it's Argonaut, if they have the same soul, then that means Bel has that power. He has that will to forge his own path, to do the right thing and not be the hero the world wants, but the hero the world needs. Another perfect example of this is Hestia. Hestia and Bel had a heart-to-heart at the end of Volume 8, where Bel thought it was wrong for a mortal and a god to love each other because mortals die. And that's the end of it. Gods will be alone for thousands, if not millions of years after the child is gone. And so, Bel thought that was a sense of loneliness and pain that he just didn't want put on a god. Hestia assures him that in the end, she would love him as her child for all eternity. Even as he grows old and dies, she promises to wait for his soul to reincarnate so she can find him again, and once again, invite him to join her familia. And she promises to do this over and over and over again until the end of time. And yes, so when I say the gods in Danmachi universe are meta, I don't mean they know that they're in a novel series or anime or whatever. What I mean is they know that heaven is basically the ultimate world, and then earth is an ever-changing world. And so they can treat the ever-changing mortal world as basically a game. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give a thumbs up so you enjoy more Danmachi and other main things. Thank you and have a great day.